Hello to my Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius, let's get right into it. Let's see what's in your cards, Sagittarius. Let's go. Let us see what's in your cards. All right, all right, all right. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Sagittarius. All right. This reading is for the 26th of April through March 3rd/4th. Hopefully, you will have had a great week. As we close out this cycle, we had a full pink moon in Libra. Libra rules seventh house. For those of you all who are learning about houses, seventh house is all about marriage, relationships, partnerships, business contracts, inner desires, and also enemies. So, enemies, learning about who your enemies are behind your back, people that you love, and finding out that they're your enemies behind your back. Not hearsay, not gossip. I'm talking about enemies behind your back, not somebody who's telling you, see, that they referring to you. We talking about somebody saying your name and saying about you behind your back. That you know is a lie, right? That you know is a lie. We're not talking about somebody being messy, somebody thinking they saying that you being shady, somebody being shady about you. None of that, where you causing you some kind of anxiety, right? So we're not talking about that. So causing you some kind of anxiety and stress. We talking about you court something, like literally, like as it relates to some kind of an injustice being done. Like literally, like you know good and well. They say you have your heart was in the right place towards, let's say you were in a relationship with somebody and you know y'all went through a divorce or something like that. Your heart was in the right place and you've done everything you could possibly do right by this person in the relationship, and they turned around and took you, try to take you for everything you had in court. They just did the works. You did whatever, loved ones, family members, you helped them, you did the whole, and they just, I give an example of what I'm talking about. There's I saw something on was it Instagram? I think it was Instagram the other day, where this guy, 50 something years old, took his parents to court and said he wanted, if his parents wanted him to move out of their house, they had to pay him like $50,000 if they wanted him to move out of the house. The judge looked like he's about to jump off the stand. Like, sir, what? Right, something like that. Almost like, are you serious? But you could tell that the dad was almost like, you know, you could tell he was just kind of, I don't know if he, I really don't know what words he used to describe, but maybe he was like maybe a little passive, maybe he was just scared, maybe he's just being respectful in court. But the son was like, yeah, you know, they should pay me if they want me to move out. The judge was like, sir, he doesn't owe you anything. Are you kidding? Like, so anyway. Y'all know what I'm saying, like some kind of an injustice, like right there, you know, not somebody who is basically being messy and mean spirited, like basically trying to, you know, control you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. See, I gave you all of this money, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, and this person talking about you behind your back, they being shady, that kind of stuff, where you confused, that kind of stuff. So let's get into it, just so they can, you know, do their little agenda. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Let's see what's in your cards. Let's see. All right. All right. Very clear the space. Every decision I make, I consider my inner child. Every decision I make, I consider my inner child. Yep. So everyone has an inner child. 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 Everyone has an, even if you don't have children, everyone has an inner child. So every decision that you make, you consider that your inner child. So if you think, you know, if you would not, I've been seeing some just wild stuff, I mean, on social media. Yeah, so a lot of things that come into the surface, like rose-colored glasses, are coming off of people's faces about a lot of things, but I'm also seeing a lot of manipulative stuff happening too, as well. A lot of manipulative things are happening too. So every decision I make, I consider my inner child. So a lot of stuff is happening. So let's see what's in your cards. So the Hierophant, yeah. A lot of things are happening with these religious organizations. A lot of manipulative things are coming out about these religious organizations, unfortunately. And people have been saying things for years, and a lot of people are just now really waking up. Unfortunately. So, the Magician card. Lots of confusion. Lots of confusion. Lots of confusion. Lots and lots of confusion. Lots of confusion. A lot of us have had, and I would say us, self-included, have had like leaders that we really, really look up to, only to find out later on they was caught up in some scandal that came caught up, with them, from 20, 30 years ago. That's just been heartbreaking and just disappointing. But it just reminds all of us that we're all in human form. And so it just takes the rose-colored glasses off of our faces and just lets us know that everybody's in human form. But it gets us to focusing again. It gets us really focusing and just reminding us to go directly to the Creator, that we shouldn't be idolizing a human being, right? So some kind of somebody is now starting to have some kind of an innate spiritual understanding of how people can get caught up in some kind of confusion now, like how people can really get caught up into spell work, like in the confusion of spell work songs. Words are spells, where you can get hooked, the hooks of songs. You can get hooked on something just through religious ceremonies. You can conform to certain things just through religious ceremonies. When you start, listening to certain things and get hooked on, certain, melodies and songs, a particular frequency that you're listening to things. And when we're talking about even listening to certain frequencies, and we're talking about when we're talking about the chakras, if you want to clean out certain, your throat chakra, you listen to particular hertz, or, if you want to clean out your root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, your heart chakra, throat chakra, all of these chakras, third eye or brow chakra, crown chakra, all of those particular hertz that you're listening to. And so in certain religious ceremonies, just like with even listening to certain lyrical content, you're listening to certain song, it invokes spirits. It invokes spirits. And so for some people, it can be kind of confusing. And so when you're considering your inner child, a lot of people are thinking, because if it's, it's in a particular within confines of four walls, okay, it must be, and people are dressed a certain way, it must be, whatever. But it can be confusing. Like, how could something be some kind of way in certain spaces, and how can certain things be? And the rose-colored glasses are happening, So here we had so some kind of team is coming together. Some kind of team is coming together fast. People are some kind of inspired action is happening here. Somebody is taking some kind of inspired action. There's some talks that's happening here. Some kind of inspired action is happening here. Here we have 9, because people have been having their wishes come true for a long time, but now some kind of inspired action for a lot of other people's wishes to come true, right? So here we have 4 Pentacles here, and something is kind of people are learning how to be more conservative with their time. This is the 4 Pentacles. Desiring for security. People were scared of change. People being more, people were being so conservative and frugal, so now people are learning how to be more conservative with their time, paying more attention to things, looking at the cards here. And again, every decision you're making, considering your own inner child. Would I leave my child in certain spaces? Yes or no? Some people are just freely say, I'm just going to leave my child with so-and-so. And just, now people are considering different. 8 of Cups. People are walking away disillusioned. Leaving behind is a time for change. Time for change. A lot of people were getting their wishes fulfilled. I don't know what this is about. When I look at these cards, take only what resonates with you. I'm only reading. I'm just telling what I'm seeing in the cards. People are now in talks about something. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is like people wanting to be a part of something, you know, but what was the door was being open to people who felt worthless. And people were leaving feeling, you know, the door was being open to certain people who felt worthless. But people were becoming financially independent off of people feeling worthless. People who were impoverished, ill, losing their health, feeling isolated. People who experienced financial loss, who were insecure, you know, who needed help. Like, you know, almost like, okay, well, how are people getting financial gain off of people who were experiencing financial loss? Where was the money coming from? Where were those people going? Like, where were they ending up? What was happening here? What the heck? Because 5 and 4 is 9, so that's financial independence. How are people getting rich, financially independent off of people walking in a door who needed help financially? They didn't have the money, so how are people getting rich off of people who didn't have money? How was that happening? Somebody was being bullied. Somebody may have sexual problems, weakness. You know, people saying that they had somebody's back in something, but somebody was being bullied. And somebody felt like, okay, you know, I'm going to pray for you. You know, I'm going to pray for you if you go share this. I got your back. I got your back. Just go get up and go give a testimony and whatever. I got your back. I got your back. Get up there and people won't pray for you. You know, and tell this lie. Say X, Y, and Z. This right here, this is 3, looks like people are talking, right? Go say this, go say that, right? For some kind of financial gain. Go say this, go say that. That's what this is. Somebody was telling somebody to go say something for somebody, but they were being bullied. Say this for some kind of financial gain. Go to the church, go say this for some kind of financial gain. Create some kind of confusion around something for some kind of financial gain. Because somebody had some kind of this is what was happening. This is what's happening here, Sagittarius. Somebody told a family member of yours to go to a church and lie about something, and their friends who were like family say, "Oh, we got your back." There's a Leo involved in something. They thought it was all fun and games, right? So you must be financially independent. Whoever I'm talking to must be financially independent. You could be single. You could have your own house or some kind of property, something. Because remember, we had a full moon and we had a full pink moon in Libra, right? Libra rules marriage. Libra rules 7th house. That's about marriage, relationships, partnerships, business contracts, inner desires, and enemies, right? So your family member, whoever this energy is, has enemies that was doing stuff behind their back. So they had to either come to your house or something and see that you had something, right? So something was done behind your back in a church during a religious ceremony. Maybe like, you know, people do altar call. They want to give up, get testimonies, whatever. So when you make a decision in considering your own inner child, it's also considering like, okay, this is knowledge. This is you sharing knowledge with somebody initially, taking the time to share some kind of knowledge. Getting up, sharing those stuff with people, you know, like keep business to yourself. Don't be talking about, you know, what kind of house people got, how much money people have, all this other stuff. Inviting just anybody into your house. because some of these people that you got coming into your house, looking and scanning what kind of furniture, what kind of house you live in, or keep them outside the house. They don't need to be all in your house looking at everything going on in the house. And somebody may not have known to say that to your kids or loved ones or whomever, but they sure enough, they took it right to a church. They took it to some kind of church to scan and talk about what you had going on in your house. What you had going on in your house. That's what this is. Somebody say, "Oh, I got your back." Go up there. They're gonna pray for you. Bingo. Here you trying to grow your abundance and your prosperity, and somebody feel like they hit the freaking jackpot. King of Cups. So here comes an abusive person who is very cold and manipulative, gave this energy some advice on how to get behind your closed doors. How to get behind your closed doors. Somebody gave somebody some idea of how to get in your house behind your closed doors. As if they weren't already bullied enough, they sacrificed them. How to get behind your closed doors and how to sacrifice you as if you had not already made enough sacrifices, Sagittarius. That's why I teach the way I teach on my channel, because a lot of people are not woke. They're not woke yet. And it's after the fact. So now you praying for strength. Now you praying for strength, right? Inner strength. Because somebody was sacrificed. After trying to sacrifice you for your financial independence, two energies were sacrificed. Knight of Pentacles. So your patience, working on yourself, somebody must be kind of like, you must be like a person who is like a hard-working person, pretty responsible. So somebody must kind of like, must work 8 hours a day. I don't know what kind of job somebody has working from home, but you must be very conservative with your time. You must be pretty conservative with your time. You and somebody must be really conservative with your time, because you somebody could be meek, but again, very strong energies, but somebody really needs to talk to, like I said, your kids, grandkids, or whatever, about standing in front of these organizations and talking about what you have, where you live, them wanting to be a part of the conversation so bad they could be standing in front of a group of criminals. And I'm not saying these churches or whatever are criminals, but y'all take however y'all want to take it, but it could be people that's sitting in the congregation, that's sitting there listening to like addresses and what neighborhood people live in. They could be just sitting amongst the crowd. It could be their friends for real that they talking to, and they say, oh, where they live and what's the address, what street, what's the color of the house, whatever, setting somebody up, and you never see something coming. And so sources like, somebody needs to wake up. Somebody needs to freaking wake up. Everybody's in human form, and you work so hard to sacrifice. And some of these are family members. Some of these are family members that they're talking to. And what kind of car they driving and what's going on. Bullying somebody. Somebody was bullied, stressed the heck out. Bullied them almost to death. Somebody was bullied. So you know who's behind it at this point. At this point, you know who's behind it. Had them working 8 hours a day to a point of exhaustion. Well, I can't even say you may be working 8 hours a day, and if you want to work beyond that because of your financial independence, that's because if you're financially independent, you could have your own business. So if you're working 8 hours a day and working beyond that, it's because you're choosing to do something that you love to do. But somebody bullied a loved one, and I'm talking about bullied to a point of stress and exhaustion where they needed some help. And so by the time we get to 10, 10 is the end of something, right? So now we're at Ace of Wands, right? So this is the new beginning of something. So this is a new beginning of something, right? So something has been fulfilled. Something has been fulfilled. Something has been fulfilled. Somebody wanted to stress somebody out until they would just, they asked for help. They needed some help. It's just too many responsibilities. Somebody, so 10 of Wands also is like somebody moving on. Like you could have moved. You could have also moved, like physically moved, right? You could have moved or moved on from something, right? Or you could have lightened your load. You could have also lightened your load. But somebody is also thinking about their future. So you could be doing something new, right? So you and somebody could be doing something new, just kind of sort of thinking about moving on. Spiritually, just moving on too, because again, when you think about how, and we're not even talking about, you may not even feel like you're the person that's being bullied per se, but you could also be considering other people may have been bullied and just like to a point of exhaustion. So I feel like someone is, like I said, considering, your own inner child as well. You have a lot of your wishes coming true. And these two, it looks like there's two karmics that you may have been dealing with. And I feel like somebody could be if you're a parent, you could be a great parent, something you could be very understanding, very balanced, very emotionally mature to kind of calm their, anxiety down a bit. So whoever you are, I don't know who you are, Sagittarius, looking at your cards here, but I feel like whoever you are, something could be a learning lesson for you, because you're not going to know everything. So when I do readings, I try to do it also with compassion, keeping in mind no judgment here in my cards. We're all in human form. Everybody's not going to know everything. But Source is saying also too, you're thinking about your future. That speaks to 11th house. So 11th house is about friendships, community, goals, hopes, wishes, awareness, humanitarianism, technology, the future. And then also, how when people see you as competition, they not only see you as competition, I'm telling y'all, there are some organizations who will literally like I said, when we see 10 of Wands, burden and stress out your kids, your grandkids, and these are religious organizations. And you would think that they're doing it because they love to, this is operating in purpose, but running it as a business. Right? With all the tax breaks, depending on where you are, whatever country you're in, whatever continent you're on, a country, with all of that, it's still not enough. So Source is saying to you, I don't know what your situation is. I really don't know what, take what resonates with you, but somebody's friends did this to them, put them in a rivalry situation, but you won something. You're on top. You won something. You are victorious. Because you have an idea of who's behind it, and you won something all because, like I said before, you actually popped the lid off of something. And other people, now I don't know what kind of platform. See, this right here lets me know that somebody is already operating in North Node, and the fact that whatever platform you have, you are alerting other people. That's the beauty of you operating in your North Node. You're not operating by fear, you're operating by faith. So that lets me know that you are informing other people. This is right here, Magician card connects us with Mercury. So Mercury is the messenger planet. That's the knowledge and learning planet. So your work is traveling. It's traveling throughout. Remember, you all love to travel, right? Good luck, good fortune. You see things from a higher frequency. So your message is traveling far and wide. And so with technology, that's 11th house, your message is traveling all over the world via the web. Whatever it is that you're doing, and it's growing abundantly and prosperously. It's traveling all around the world. People are starting to get it. when you getting up and you giving these testimonies and you telling your kid, they talking about you living your zip code and you living in this, you know, whatever neighborhood, and you got rolling hills and you know, the tennis courts and the basketball courts over here, and you got the big sprawling pools and the this and that over there, and the 25 car parking garage and all this loveliness going on, which, you know, people can have what they want to have. You got a, you know, a runway for your plane. You got all these wonderful, beautiful things, right? You got all these wonderful things, but you can't say that to some people, and you very well could have earned it. You could have very well could have been a person who grew up, you know, who was raised, you know, in a lot of poverty. You could actually have a lot of people on your payroll. You could have a lot of people who are, you could be a very fair person that's making sure everybody that works, you know, in your company is doing very, very well, but that's still, some people are going to still see it as they're familiar spirits. They don't know the inner workings of anything. All they know is that they see you as competition and they want to take what you have. And so that's all you need to know. So that's why you got to let your family, whoever's close, don't be getting up and giving a testimony to these religious organizations. Just stop them ahead of time. They want to be a part of something so bad, don't be a part of that conversation. Let them know ahead of time. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. Yeah. Because you got a lot of mask-wearing energies around here. A lot of people who are masking as compassionate. We ain't talking about people that will come to your house and have a mask on with guns in their hands. And other weapons, while they're masking as compassionate in your face and set you up. So no. Queen of Wands. Yeah. So yeah, you got somebody. Okay, I had to add something else to this. Yeah, there is, with all of this fire here, somebody is in the military. Somebody is in the military. Who said that they have somebody's back, who is working with someone else. Speaking of weapons, who is working with someone else, who likes to cause a lot of confusion, who has asked you about your travels, where you have been. They like to ask people about where they've traveled, where they've been around the world. They also are a parent. They have children or a child. They like to create a lot of confusion. Yeah, illusions and confusions. Speaking of wearing a mask, two karmics, they like to use weapons, guns, knives, those kind of things. They like to use this kind of things to rob people. So somebody be careful. Somebody be very careful. They like to get people to open up to talk about like who has what behind closed doors. And they're bold enough to call you and tell you what you got in your house. I mean, just craziness. But they don't know everything you got in your house. They don't know everything. Let them step through them doors. Let them step in your house if they want to. Let them step through them doors. So they don't know everything. Surprise, surprise. Let them step through your doors. So yeah. Y'all be careful with these religious ceremonies. Y'all be real careful, because a lot of people, that's how a lot of people, they lower their guards with this. And you tell your kids and grandkids all this, they will put people in survival mode. Tell people they got your back and we're going to pray for you. Just going up there and you just, you know, talk about what you got and what you got. Take pictures of what's going on in the house. And okay. So you're grateful that something is behind you. Yeah, be grateful that something is behind you, because somebody was real cold and real, these people crazy. They're real crazy. Yeah, be grateful that you talked to somebody, because somebody's ego is big as the size of Texas, and they told you what they was up to. They already told you what they was up to. They told you what they was about. You already peeped the lies. They already told you what they was into. They told you what they was about. So, whatever. Let them step through your door. They already told you they on that frequency, death frequency. They already told you what they were about. That's the frequency they on. Yep. So you got these two right here. This is a tower. It's these two right here. We'll call it a tower. That's the frequency that they're on. And this is what motivates somebody. This is what motivates somebody. Somebody is really not in their right mind. Somebody is really, really not in their right mind. So I hope you all record conversations when you're talking to people. Why are you being conservative with your time? Because two people were paid to do something. So I hope you all recorded a conversation with this one right here. Because if you did and something happened to somebody, make sure you use it. Because somebody sure enough told you that they were trained to kill. They did not tell you that they were trained to wound. They told you they were trained to kill. So you know exactly who's behind it. A church. You know exactly who is behind it. That is what I have for you all. Hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this is helpful to you. You're not playing games with these people. You're not playing games with these people. They like to prove other people are liars, and they are the ones that's a liar. That is what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. So start alerting your kids, your grandkids, and like I said before, every decision you make, consider your inner child. You are not playing games. You are not playing games at all. You're not playing. That is what I have for you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.